This little video is just going to show you how I do a mock rib hung hem sock for the top. So what I do is, this is the second sock, so that I don't have to cast everything on and cast everything back on again. What I do is I take the weights off and just have one weight to hold it down a little bit, and then I move the needle that I'm going to take out. I take that stitch and sit it on top of the stitch beside it, then take the needle out. So this is a 3 needle in, 1 needle out mock rib. This is the way that I do it. So now I still need to take some more needles out of here, but we're starting our first row. So I'll just put my row counter on, move that into place, and the first sock I did, I started with the purple, or this pinky purple, because it's self-striping yarn that I've got at the moment. So I'm just going to pull that through until I see the start of the pink, and then I'm just going to go around a couple of needles. Just put a little bit of pressure on. So also check to make sure all your latches are down, and I'll just go around a little bit. Now this is where I want to finish taking the needles out. So 1, 2, 3, this fourth one, and put it on there, and then I just lift and pull out. There is a metal band around here that you can pull out and put over this bit here to take the needles in and out, but I don't tend to use that. I just think this is just as easy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, out and over. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is just like a dental pick type tool. I find it works really well for lifting stitches up. All right, take that. Right, so now we've got all of our stitches in place. So at this point, I put my weight on that is got the 3 heavy weights that came with the machine. That's these here. And just hook that over the bottom so you can see that that's pulled that tight. So when I do start off with the top part of the sock, I don't use the heel spring. I just have it thread up through, and I go through both. I have 2 prongs at the end of my yarn holder, so I go through both of those prongs, and I try and maintain a tension that's not too tight, because this sock is going to pull in a bit with the missing needles, and also I have fatter thighs, so I don't want something that's going to be really tight. If you've got a thin leg, you could put the heel weight on heel spring on if you wanted to do that. So again, just check that all your latches are down. And so my hung hem is, what I do is 30 rows. Uh-oh, I'm going to hit the camera. I have to push that back a little bit. Is that still in focus? Okay, going to just have to adjust that a bit. Just bring it up a bit. That'll work. Okay. So okay, so that's one, two, 3. Now this is the 30, and where I want to stop, so I started, this is my first needle, so I want to stop there. So now what you do is take your weights off, and then actually I might take this belt thing off too. And then I just get the hook and pull it up. Oops. So this bump here is the starting one. So that's your waist. I should have used a different colour because it's fairly close in colour, but it'll still work. So this is your bump that you then take and carefully hang over that hook. And then you are just picking up each one to go over. So the one will be a wider bump to go over, and then you'll have the narrower ones. Yep, definitely should have used different colour waist. What's going on there? I don't know. Being a bit stubborn. Yeah, so a much better contrasting colour would mean you'll be able to see it a lot easier. for your waist. These socks, I'm using a tension of 7.5 on my machine. But that can vary because not all 4-ply yarn is the same thickness. Some is thinner than others. So what I do when I get to this point, I will pull this from underneath just to put tension down on it with my hand, and then I'll just making sure all of your latches are down. I will just move across, just go around a bit, stop, and then finish these off. Now, have I got pink or red there? Pink. 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 And that. So when I get to this bit here, I just give a little tug so it pulls it up a bit. So what'll happen is once we join this row, when you've finally done your sock, this is your waist yarn, so that gets ravelled out. This bit here, you just weave in and tuck in the join. There is a way to weave it in as you use your machine, but I never seem to be able to get it nice, so I tend to just stitch it in after I've done the sock. So I need to put my belt back on. This is what holds the weight from underneath. Now this is my second sock. I try to avoid having to cast off and cast on that frequently, just by using scrap yarn to break up between each sock. So I do have these cast on bonnets that I use to make it a bit easier than using the tool that came with the machine. So this is like a cast on bonnet with these little rings I put around every second needle when I have to use that, and there's this here where I hang my weights on, and I find that works a lot easier than the other tool that comes with the machine to cast on. Alright, so the weights are on, and so basically what I do is one row around it, I call that my joining row, and then from there on it's just cranking how many rows you want for the leg of the sock. What I usually do is I'll go 40 rows and then I will put the heel spring on. So what I'm achieving is a looser fitting at the top and then tightening it up a bit around the ankle, and then I leave that heel spring on for the whole rest of the foot of the sock. So there you go, how I do my mock rib hung hem.